samples and to deliver the results wirelessly to a doctor. She was ultimately awarded a patent for this idea in November 2007. She has been tireless ever since, having 18 American patents and 66 non-American patents to her credit. She has also been named a co-inventor in more than 100 filed patents. Talk about being sleep-deprived and driven to succeed. She not only changed science, but also law. Elizabeth led the passing of the first law in American history to give explicit right to direct access laboratory testing. The law was based on a draft she wrote, empowering 7 million folks in the state of Arizona, facilitating engagement with and protection of doctors. This is going to become a model for other states across America to shift toward preventive care, empowerment, and price transparency. No wonder this month she also was listed as the #1 coolest person on Business Insider's Silicon Valley's 100 people who matter most in technology. Well, the accolades are not done yet. Fortune magazine listed her in the top people in business, 40 under 40. Foreign Policy magazine listed her among top 100 global thinkers. The White House asked her to serve as a United States Presidential Ambassador for Global Entrepreneurship, called PAGE, focusing on empowering women in STEM and business, especially in global health and infectious diseases. Last month, Elizabeth was awarded an honorary doctorate of humane letters degree at Pepperdine University, the university's highest honor. This month, she was named to Harvard Medical School's Board of Fellows. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the real treat, the incredible Elizabeth Holmes, to the IIT Global stage. Thank you very much. Elizabeth?
You humbled me.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely. Thank you. Well, I'm incredibly humbled by that introduction and hopefully can share any part of my own journey and experience with you all here today in the context of the Q&A we'll hopefully get time to get into. It's a great privilege for me to be here, and I want to thank everyone at IIT and all the alumni for inviting me to your annual Global Leadership Conference. I have tremendous respect for individuals who have studied at IIT. We have a number of them on our team at Theranos, a few who are in the audience today. One woman in our company and an IIT alum, Sharda Sivaraman, defines what it means to be a woman in technology. I see her leading teams who are doing life-changing, brilliant, innovative work every day. And she is a wonderful mother, a model to her young daughter that being a strong leader and a brilliant scientist is the norm. I know this year at IIT you've had a special focus on supporting women in engineering. And I'm honored to be standing among this group of the best engineers and scientists and entrepreneurs globally, both men and women. I love that the goal of this event is to focus on what is key to creating a better world, succeeding, and giving back. In my own journey, I've found that both go hand in hand, especially for those of us who are dedicated not just to advancing technology, science, and the pursuit of innovation, but to do all of that while leading a life of purpose. When I headed to my first year at college, my father gave me a book, Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. And I've read it over and over again since then. What I've connected most with is the concept that being a leader is achieved through stoicism, discipline, and sacrifice. These principles have guided me every day since then and have helped me to stay the course during the most challenging times. This text, written in 170 AD, reinforced a belief I know many of us share and a timeless truth that the purpose of life is to make a difference in the world, that we find ourselves in the service of others. At the end of the day, when we look back at our lives, I've always believed nothing matters more than knowing you've done something to make this world a better place. And I believe that each of us do that, make a difference, by giving our gift, doing what you love to do. Because when you find what you love, no matter how hard it gets, you keep going because you love it. So I thought this morning I'd take time to share some principles that inspire me and guide me as I work to live a purposeful life and to realize our mission at Theranos, which is to make actionable health information accessible for everyone as a basic human right. The first thought I want to share is about taking time to think about what it is you'd do if you knew you could not fail, and doing what you're afraid to do. When that happens, it's amazing what we can do and how many people want to walk and work with us. Leadership, to me, is about committing everything to a cause that serves people and guiding a team to realize that vision all the way through. Any great cause can only be realized by a team of people believing in making the impossible possible. In our own work, we've found the best teams come from bringing people together from extremely diverse backgrounds, both technically and culturally. People who resonate with our mission so profoundly, they become part of it to do the greatest work of their life here and now. And in the scope of the mission and the size of the challenges we set for one another each and every day, we by definition innovate and realize the quote-unquote impossible. I keep a quote on our walls by Muhammad Ali that reads, "Impossible is just a big word thrown around by small men who find it easier to live in the world they've been given than to explore the power they have to change it. Impossible is not a fact, it's an opinion. Impossible is not a declaration, it's a dare. Impossible is potential, impossible is temporary, impossible is nothing." In the journey to build a purposeful life, I believe we're always tested. We're faced with setbacks and painful challenges. When I first started our company, I think literally every person I met told me there was no way I would succeed. And as we begin to succeed, the number of people who started attacking and trying to tear us down grew even greater. Prime Minister Nehru said, "Ignorance is always afraid of change." I've found when it's hardest is when it matters most to stay the course. In my own life, I've always believed those difficult and testing moments are inflection points. Moments to own and find out who we really are. And it's in getting back up over and over again when we're knocked down, when we're told we can't be successful, when we fail, that something great happens. We become stronger in a shared mission and a humility that pushes us to work harder, to bring a dream into reality. When I started our company, someone said to me, "Define what is non-negotiable to you, what you're willing to fight for, die for, and most importantly, live for. For me, that non-negotiable, that purpose, that mission is our mission. And realizing a change in a world and in an industry that has stagnated for decades and resulted in so much loss and pain. A change that would mean that one day, people wouldn't have to say goodbye too soon to those they love. I started Theranos because I believed that building a business is a vehicle for making a difference in the world. I believe that is the true legacy of Silicon Valley. That you can do well by doing good. This was what I wanted to do with my time in our world, no matter what. The genesis of our work, the reason I decided to start this company, began with the incredible sense of injustice and pain I felt every time I saw someone battling cancer. The pain I felt watching how objectified people I loved became when they had to find the strength to take one more needle or give one more tube of blood when all their veins had already collapsed. How they struggled to find the courage to keep fighting as their bodies grew weaker. How I wished we had a system that would empower people to find out they were sick before the cancer spread, or the heart grew weaker, or the diabetes made them lose a limb. As too many of us know all too well, how helpless we feel when there's nothing we wouldn't do to make someone we love well again. I knew I wanted my work, my life, to be about working to change all of that. That is my non-negotiable. That is my calling. And what's amazing is that the profoundness of our callings lie in how different they are for every one of us. And that when we keep focusing on them, until we can hear them, until we can find them, we change the lives of people around us. It's that thing we'd do if no one was paying us, if no one was applauding us. We do it over and over again, even when we lose our job. It's that thing you do when you lose track of time. It's what you love. It's hidden in the science experiment you failed at over and over again, but you just can't give up on. It's that prototype you're working on that you stay up at night thinking about. That obsession we all have for our unique passions. When I found that passion, that obsession, what I felt like I was put on this earth to do, what I was born to do, I chose to put every penny I had into it. I dreamt about it, woke up thinking about it. I shaped every aspect of my life to give everything I had in me to it. Everything. When you love something that much, you're willing to make sacrifices and choices because you love it. I left college to pursue my dream, and when I left, I had no idea how we were going to build the technology needed to solve the problems we'd set out to solve. But I knew we would. I started in a tiny basement, working by myself. Then we had a tiny office that was also a lab. It could fit no more than 6 people in the room. And then it became a bigger office. We all kept working together. We codenamed our product the Edison because we assumed we'd have to fail 10,000 times to get it to work the 10,000th and first. And we did. As you all know, perhaps better than anyone, there is no shortcut to really hard work. In our experience, you have to work harder and work smarter than everyone else. We learned so much more from our failures than we did from our successes. and our character and our